Yeah, I couldn't figure out why they wouldn't change that.
Okay, I'll settle. I'd like to call this meeting of Monday, November 10th to order. Please
I didn't
rise
have any.
for reflection and pledge of allegiance. We gather together to make decisions for our community. May we use only our best skills and judgment, keeping our minds and hearts impartial. Let us always act in accordance with what is best for our community and our fellow citizens. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. Here.
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 David Skyler.
Here.
Kevin Brandon.
Here.
Jeremy Young.
Here.
Paul Foskey.
Present.
Tom Baumgarten.
Here.
Elena Melanie. Here.
You name it.
Michael Flip.
Here.
Dennis Iondo.
Here.
Kevin Kruger. Paul Whitmire. Josh.
Here.
Thank you. We have a public notice. An executive session was held this evening at 6 p.m. for the purpose of collecting information or educating agency members about an issue.
Look at who's technology down. Who's that handsome bald-headed guy there? Third one in from the left. Third one in, not second.
There are no revisions or additions to the agenda. This is the public comment portion where you have choose to comment on agenda items only. Please step to the podium and express state your name and address and address council. There being no public comment on agenda items, we'll move to public presentations. We have council's first review of the proposed 2026 budget. An exciting process indeed.
Madam President, the technology is working. We should be able to see both on the screen and online the budget presentation. So I'm just going to move some papers around here real quick.
Jerry's up there.
So this evening, I'm going to just give a brief review of the draft budget for 2026. I've met with the Finance Committee, I think 3 or 4 times. We've done it a little bit more. I went into a little bit more detail with them. However, this evening, you're just going to be seeing some summary sheets, and I'll just go through some of the highlights for each of those sections. I'm starting off with the mill levy, just to mention to everyone that traditionally we don't know the assessed value for the upcoming year until late December, early January. And so for the projections that I'm using tonight for our revenues, I'm using the 2025 assessed valuations and then the mill levies associated with those, each of those funds that we're collecting mills for. And so to start off with the general fund, first off, I'll mention to council that the departments or categories that you see on the screen, see in the presentation, probably going to look a little bit different than last year. And what I did in an attempt to have a little bit cleaner summary is I used the DCED chart of accounts. And based on what all of the items that were in that particular category in the budget, I was able to utilize their guidelines to create these departments. And so for the tax revenue for 2026, valuation of that previous slide, and knowing that our collections, the rate of collections will vary anywhere from about 93% to 98%. For the 26 budget, I'm using that valuation at a 93% collection. Again, these are all totals for those categories. And so that is the projection for 2026 in terms of the real property taxes. Now, we'd like to think that we'll know a lot more about the total revenue as we continue to move throughout the year. I know our tax collector has some additional revenue that will be deposited for the borough in the coming weeks and months.
Can I ask a very quick question? Going back to the first page of millage for 25, anticipated real estate taxes were 4.3 million and change.
Yep.
Okay. So then you did your chart down the left for the millage.
Yes.
Is 1% of the 4.3 million 445,917.
That is the valuation of 1 mil. So when you look at the total property value, there's a formula you use to determine what 1 mil is. So I think the answer to your question is yes. And then the remainder of those columns or those lines just show what the fractions of a mil would be. And that's just more for budgeting purposes. Did I answer your question?
No, because if you look at the 4.3 million, 1% of that is not 445,000 and change, 917.
1,000.
It's what?
1,000.
1,000. Still though, the number is still one. It can't be 445. It has to be 432,852.
No,
I know, but where are you getting that figure is my question. Where are you getting the 445,917?
40% of 1 mil, and then you apply 9.7 mils to that valuation to give you $4.3 million. Property valuation is $445 million. 1 mil based on that valuation is $445,000. And for the general fund tax revenue, you multiply the 445 times 9.7, and that'll get you the $4.3 million.
I'm getting you. Great. Thank you.
All right. I just would mention that staff went through all of the line items in the revenue, and just to be able to track actuals year over year, comparing prior years, and also looking at any types of trends that we may be in the midst of. And that's where we came to the proposed budget for 26 in each of these departments or categories. I'm going to move on to expenses. You can see that in the legislative body, there's an increase that is due to ordinance number 942, which is providing changes to the mayor's and council's annual compensation. There was a small increase for dues, memberships, and meetings in that particular line item. In the executive line item, not much change. There was a slight increase in a membership to provide increased opportunities for no-cost webinars and fee-based in-person training. In financial administration, you're going to see a decrease. That is due to changing our plan for accounting services. And so We have decided to maintain all of our bookkeeping in-house, and I provided a smaller dollar amount to bring in a third-party accounting firm, provide support services to the borough. Tax collection is seeing some increases this year. One based on Resolution 765, which is increasing the fee for the tax collector. One of the things we did within all of those line items was we split out postage from office supplies for better transparency. We saw that there was increasing lien collection expenses, so we increased that for this year. And we also saw that there was a slight increase from past performance in terms of refunds. So we made some adjustments there. Under law, we are actually under budget for labor attorney expenses for this year. However, staff is recommending that we maintain this line item and not make any significant changes to it because we are going to be having bargaining with the Public Works Union in 2026. Under clerk and secretary, as you all know, Lori retired last April. So the decrease in this line item is partially reflected by that salary exiting. We have kept a little bit of funding in there because we have asked Lori to come in for a couple hours a month to help with our transition. And it has been very, very helpful to have her come in and answer questions. And that's basically clerk and secretary. Under personnel, we added a little bit extra because the chief requested some additional funds to advertise for civil service. I did want to bring to council's attention that the MMO is down $50,000 in 2026. Liability insurance is up 11%, and which is roughly $12,000 additional. However, workman's comp is down 16%. We were able to work with a new workman's comp provider. And so we'll be saving $16,000 on workman's comp. Another added benefit is that based on our experiences in 26, we could be getting some cost sharing and getting a check back from them. I think all in all, that's a very positive thing for that area. Under data processing, there was a particular line item in the capital budget that was paying for a number of Verizon monthly fees. And so we brought that into a new line item called computer miscellaneous, because those monthly recurring fees is really not a capital expense. And so we put it in that particular line item to better address that type of expenditure. We did add a little bit to the software services line item because we are, as you know, going to be moving our financial software to the cloud. And that hope is to have that completed by the end of second quarter of 26. We are going to be adding a new software for Vicky to use to do scheduling for the field use and to take reservations for the pavilion. And then we have the recurring expense with iWork, which is for the codes department. You'll see that there's no change in the engineer line item. Under general government and buildings, you'll see a slight decrease. One thing I want to note for council is that, and in consultation with our solicitor, we discussed moving all of public lighting out of the general fund budget. So there are a number of different areas within the general fund budget that has this public lighting, electricity line as a line item. We've moved all of that into the streetlight fund. As you know, we're all experiencing higher energy costs. The streetlight fund is no different. And so we thought that that was a better place to put those expenses. We did increase the gas line item upwards to address, again, the increasing energy costs that all of us are experiencing. Under police, We are seeing, obviously, personnel costs increase due to contractual obligations. We'll say that the chief and I did go pretty much line by line. We reviewed his budget in its entirety. We were able to find areas to make some adjustments. One of the key areas that the borough will experience in 26 is that the MMO for the uniform side of the pension fund will see a reduction of $30,000. So the MMO will be reduced by $30,000. So all in all, that we were able to hold the line for the police for this year. Under fire, I just want to remind council that there's a revenue and an expense that's in the budget, the general fund budget, and that is for the Relief Association, or the Fire Department's Relief Association. It's money that's received from the state, which goes in as a revenue, and then it gets immediately paid out to the relief fund. So it's essentially a pass-through. So that particular line item, regardless of the cost, or whatever that we're paying the volunteer fire department, the state is providing that fee. So there's no out of pocket to the borough. The fire department did ask for a larger contribution this year. The recommendation was to increase their contribution by $8,000. Under ambulance service, we are told that the assessment will be the same as last year, which is good news. I did want to mention to council, though, that I moved a line item, I think it was at $3,500, and this was for a reverse 911 system. And you'll see that in the next slide, but that's something that's managed by the chief, and that's managed by him in his role as the emergency management coordinator. So we felt it really it should have its own line item, own category, as opposed to being put in with the ambulance service, since it really has nothing to do with that. Under protective inspection, no major changes. You see a decrease only because we really looked at some of the healthcare costs, and we were able to make some significant adjustments for that particular department. In planning and zoning, you are seeing an increase, and that was because last year we inadvertently removed 2 subscriptions that are in that particular department. I misunderstood my conversation with Paul. I removed both of them. I came to understand that those were needed for his department, so they've been added back in for 2026. I'm going to apologize to everybody in that when I was revising some slides today, I accidentally put emergency management and solid waste collection in the wrong spots on the slide. So I'll just mention in terms of emergency management, that is what I just mentioned before with the reverse 911 system. Under solid waste, if you're looking at that line item, the question you more than likely are asking yourself, wait a minute, I thought you said that solid waste fees would increase 7% a year. That was by contract with Waste Management. The borough was insistent that Waste Management conduct an audit, and this process took probably close to a year to complete. This was quite a process. We worked very closely with Paul and Christina to verify addresses. We were able to identify that we were able to reduce the number of household residential units that are receiving service by Waste Management. And so we were able to reduce the monthly fee significantly. So what I've done for this particular line item is just take that current fee that we're paying now that it's been adjusted, and I've multiplied that by 7%, and we're still seeing a savings in our budget. So I think that's a very positive outcome. Under highway maintenance general, obviously, again, we have annual increases due to personnel costs based on contractual obligations. Once again, we went line item by line item to make revisions where needed. One area that's going to see a large increase in this particular department or category is the addition of seasonal employees that will be monitoring our park, Hamilton Park, and specifically the splash pad. Although we were not open a whole lot this past year, we did learn from the 2 weekends that we were open that specific installation requires monitoring while it's open. Because water, concrete, outdoors, what could possibly go wrong? So we just need someone to monitor and make sure that folks are using the facility safely. So we're going to see an increase in the number of employees that we have as seasonals. I'm projecting 4 full-time seasonals and 1 part-time seasonal. However, it could be any kind of combination of that to make sure that all the shifts are covered. For highway maintenance, for snow and ice, we added some funds for calcium chloride. Under highway maintenance, sidewalks, we removed the electrical line item and reduced other line items based on prior year actuals. Under highway maintenance streetscape, we once again reduced line items based on prior actuals. For storm sewers, we reduced that line item to just address small repairs, and any of the other larger type projects, we put some monies in the capital fund to address those, since they would be more considered a capital type project. Highway maintenance bridges, no major changes. Cultural and rec, no major changes. Parks is where we're seeing some significant increase in the addition of some line items. And I'll just kind of quickly review those. When I spoke with Brian, he mentioned that he's having a difficult time recruiting counselors for the summer rec program that are those students that need that time. I guess they need community service time.
Volunteers, yes.
Yeah, and so he's seeing less volunteers, so he's anticipating the need for having some paid counselors. We increased that a little bit. We increased our operating supplies due to a variety of park expenses, and that includes the porta-john, dog stations, cleaning supplies, and all sorts of other miscellaneous expenses. We increased the water budget by $4,000 because we anticipate that with the splash pad, we are going to see an increase in our water bill. I also increased our sewage bill to reflect that we're probably going to see some level of increase in that bill as well. I added at $120 to address any splash pad maintenance that we're going to experience in 26. I added $5,500 for turf maintenance on an annual basis. And I did speak with the rep from Keystone, and he was saying that he was hoping to come in the spring. An unknown that we have is under the repairs to buildings. We really don't know what we're going to experience with the new pavilion and the new facilities. So I just doubled the repairs to building line item from 5,000 to 10,000, just to address any repairs that we may have to do. We also underperformed for our refunds. And so I created a formula that is based on the number of reservations we receive for our facilities, what that would represent in terms of giving refunds for those reservations. Under trees, I eliminated the expense entirely because we haven't drawn from that line in the last couple of years, and it doesn't look like it had been used much. So I just thought, in the interest of saving some money, we just pulled the funding out of there. Community Day under civil and military celebrations. I kept that line item at $10,000. Obviously, the council wish to change that line item due to the event that we put on last year, that was something we could certainly look at. Under economic development, no change. Intergovernmental expenditures, that's the SHACOG membership fee. My understanding is going to be staying the same for 26. However, I do just want to mention to council that the borough may be experiencing an increase in the future. The intergovernmental transfers, that's moving $25,000 into a completely separate reserve account. We are trying slowly but surely to build up our reserves. We started that in 2025, and we hope to continue that 2026. And then the other expenses for the sinking fund for employees. Overall, expenditures are down 2%. That's the general fund. Other funds, I've got 3 slides for council to review under other funds. This is showing the 25 and 26 revenues for the various funds. I'll just pause for a moment so you can take a look. And then as an expense summary, comparing 25 and 26 for expenses. And then the summary sheet. As I mentioned earlier, we are moving the public lighting out of the general fund and into the streetlight fund to address that increase in expenditures. Staff is recommending that we revise the mill levies that we are assessing, and to take 0.2 mills from the capital fund and put it into the streetlight fund. So again, the spoiler alert is no taxes raised for 2026. We're just making a revision to provide the street light fund with a little bit of additional revenue. Sewer fund, the difference this year will be that we're just moving a little bit, our fund balance forward in 25 is going to be a little bit less than it was in 24. I don't think it's going to impact the fund that greatly. Again, staff is recommending no change for the sewer fees on the borough side. Obviously, Alcosan is raising its fees annually. I believe it's a 7% increase as well. Under capital fund, the CIP, as I mentioned, we'll move that mill levy. I can say that the borough has applied for a number of grants and plan to apply for additional grants in 26. However, any of the remaining parks projects will not be, we're not going to pursue those until we actually have grant monies to help offset those costs. And that, again, will be pretty much the same for a number of the other capital fund projects. Unless we have the grant monies to offset the expense, we probably won't be pursuing them. I do want to mention to council that we are anticipating receiving funds, reimbursement funds from 3 grants. 2 of them are LSA grants, and 1 is an ARPA grant. The 2 LSA grants are $150,000 each, and the ARPA grant is $425,000. So that would be we're anticipating $725,000 going into the capital fund in 26. In terms of any monies coming out of the bond fund, should we be moving forward on Streetscape, the next phase of Streetscape? That's a state grant funded project, but it's at a 50% rate. So if we're able to move forward on that, we would be moving $771,000 into the out of the bond fund. We're hoping that wayfinding phase 2, and I know Josh and Jason are working on getting the slides together for that final presentation for wayfinding phase 2. The goal is to have that be 100% grant funded. So that's a $160,000 project. And then library fund, they were able to, oops, wait a minute, where did I go?
Liquid fuels.
Did it come?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. That's what I did. Okay. We added, let's see. Under data processing, we put some fees in to allow us to move from the server to the cloud. We are purchasing a new laptop and docking stations for the tax collector. We have a police car programmed. We have an expense, a revenue and an expense under protective inspection, and that's a property that is looking, we're looking to demo that particular property. We do have a pickup truck programmed for Public Works. And I would say that for the most part, I said will be, should we receive grant funding, we would certainly move forward on pursuing those projects. Not much to say about the sinking employee fund or the sinking debt fund. Both of those are in pretty good shape. There's really no major changes. I already mentioned earlier about the reserve account.
You hold no questions till the end, or you want to?
If you'd like to ask them as we're going.
Yeah, you just mentioned there was no significant change in sinking debt. At 4.4 million to 2.7, that's significant.
Well, we've been drawing down. I mean, we're not making it, we haven't made any major changes other than just drawing down the funds as we've been using them for our projects. But we still have revenue coming in to offset the expenses of paying off the bond. That was really what I was referring to. Any other questions? Liquid fuels is a pretty straightforward account. We have a paving plan in place, and we have salt budgeted in liquid fuels. Library, we were able to hold them to a 2% increase year over year. So those are the special funds. I'm going to apologize for this slide in advance. It's super small on the screen, but it does just give you a quick review of the projects that are coming in for 2026. Once again, many of them are based on whether the borough receives grant funding or not. And so in review, again, no additional taxes for 2026. That's in the green, just with those revisions of moving some 0.2 mils out of street lighting or into street lighting from the capital fund. That is the end of my report. Thank you. Oh, that was fast. And as I mentioned, I'm happy to meet with any member of the public if you would like to go into greater detail with the nuances of the budget, as well as obviously I will make myself available for council should you like to come in and go through the budget and have a discussion about any particular items that caught your attention.
Yeah, I'd like to discuss the library fund a little further. Let's see, the pages aren't numbered, but the one that, other funds, revenue expense summary. Library fund revenue was 351, the expense was 308 for a surplus of 43,005 something. So does that number include the we're giving the library on top of what we previously gave?
I understand your question.
So we're raising the amount we give the library.
Gave.
We don't usually,
That's a mill, that they get a mill levy. So
No matter how it's presented, we're giving more money to the library, is what my point is.
if the value of the mill goes up, the value, right? Is that-
that is,
The mill was at for 25. Okay, I see. It's the same amount for.
again, any of the funds that received a mill levy, I was using the projected revenues.
I still not getting the answer I need. What are we giving the library more than we gave them previously?
Based on, I've got a lot of papers, but I could certainly try to get to the right ones. Are you saying what is the difference between the 307 and 351?
I'm seeing that page. Talking about when the budget discussions, previous administration had taken money from the library.
Yes.
So
You'd like me to discuss that?
exactly.
Okay. So, predating my arrival in 23, previous administration had determined that the operational surplus was at a level that they felt was too much for the library to be holding onto. And so $60,000 was taken out of the library fund and put in the capital fund to help pay for some of the park projects. That, and then in addition to the mill levy revision that was made, which I believe lowered the amount of revenue that the library was receiving, has worked its way through the last year. The library budget was projected to show a deficit for 2026. And so the recommendation has been made that some portion of that $60,000 be placed back into the library fund. And so the projections that I am showing council in this draft budget reflects moving $45,000 into the library fund. Of course, it's council's decision as to how much you would wish to move. I picked the middle number between 0 and 60, and that seemed to provide a reasonable fund balance for them to operate from over at least the next few years or more. Any other questions?
So on the revenue summary page, you're looking at 351 and change for 26, and for 25 was 307. Are you saying the difference between those two numbers is the 45,000? Or I'm seeing another page where it's 43.5. This number on the revenue expense summary, other funds.
Revenue and expense, yes.
Plus.
So there would be a surplus. So the total revenue, I see what you're asking now. I finally caught up. The request that that staff is making to council is to move those funds in 2025 so that the fund balance moving forward for the library would reflect will incorporate those additional dollars to give them a larger starting point for 2026. I apologize. I wasn't quite following your question. That answer it?
The 45,000 is reflected in this figure.
Yes.
See that again? What's your point in that? All the revenue and expense pages are all running together. Yeah, the 43,000.
It's reflected in 26
revenue.
It's reflected going into 26 because of there'd be a fund balance that's included in their revenue line item.
Okay.
Concludes my presentation.
May I ask a question? Michael.
And Eileen?
Yes, I heard. I'm trying to multitask here.
Yeah.
I don't always do good if I multitask.
Just a quick question. I couldn't hear what you were saying about the parks, but you said nothing else will be done with the parks unless we get grant money. I don't have any numbers in front of me, so I'm just going on.
There's 2 remaining park projects out of the 6 parks plan. And so Real Park and Municipal Park would still have a plan for upgrading some of the amenities at those parks. Not to the extent that the plan had. And I think those 2 projects combined was, I think, around $2.6 million. And so we've significantly scaled them back and pursued grants to pretty much just upgrade all of the play area and not install as many of the amenities that were.
Is that because the first plan went over budget?
I think the first plan, there was some expenses or some contracts that went a little bit over budget. However, when the bond fund was originally submitted, the streetscape project was not incorporated in that. And
That was my next question.
771.
Okay.
So that had to be reserved to be able to pay that 50% match for the streetscape project.
That was my next question. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, are there any other questions? And I guess we'll move on. If everyone has a chance to review the minutes from the previous meeting, October 27th. If there's no corrections or additions, I'd like a motion to accept those minutes.
I'll make it. Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Again, we have to table the 2026 minimum municipal obligation figure because we did not get the figure because the state has not passed our budget yet. So we don't have that number yet. So we have to table that motion. And we are going to move to the Retirement Recognition Award. I need a motion to authorize the borough manager to award Lynn Seiler $2,005.26 in recognition for 13.37 years of service.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm abstaining from that vote.
Motion carries. Thank you. Bid awards and contracts. LSA statewide grant with Commonwealth Finance Authority. The Belleville Street Retaining Wall Project. A grant request is for $580,000. Resolution.
Yeah, we can go back. We can circle back.
Oh, we didn't dispose of that
That's okay.
property. Okay.
That's okay. we can finish up. We can.
We have resolution number 779, authorizing the submission of an LSA grant. I need a motion to adopt resolution 779, authorizing the submission of an LSA grant with the Commonwealth Financing Authority in the amount of $580,000.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We have a disposal of borough property. Resolution number 596, effective April 28, 2014. The borough manager is informing council of the disposition of various tools currently used by Castle Shannon Police Department. Value of these tools has been determined to be less than $1,000. These items will be placed on the borough's website for public bid.
And that's pretty much the requirement of the resolution.
Can the police chief mention what these items are, or is that,
It's miscellaneous tools that were used by the truck inspector, and they're very well worn.
very good?
Council committee reports, community engagement events? Nothing? Anything on community engagement and events?
Yeah, Blue Wonderland's coming up, looking bigger and better, although they are asking for volunteers for pretty much any time from start to the finish and everything in between. They can use some help. So get in touch with the Revitalization Corporation and sign up.
Or even they could call into the borough and
Sure.
put their name in there.
We can certainly forward that information on.
What were the hours, Kevin, on that?
From
The date, is it date?
From 2
No.
to 6, I think it's 2 to 6, something like that.
2 to 6?
Yeah,
Madam President, 2-6, yeah.
2 to 6, yeah.
But the group will be setting up early that morning and
Right.
getting prepared.
So
'cause there's
set up
quite a
and
bit of
clean up,
setup.
there's also time for that. Finance committee?
Yes. I received 2 check registers dated 10/29 and 11/7. I have no further questions. But under console mail, it's still showing we're not having a meeting on December 8th. Are we having a meeting or are we not? This is the second time this has been mentioned as no meeting.
I thought we corrected that.
Dan, I think they sent a second email out, but there is a meeting on the 8th. The first email said no meeting, and the second email corrected it.
Oh,
We have to
great.
fix the typo.
Right.
It's not, it's not listed on council mail, though. That's his point.
I think we just need to fix the typo, whatever's in there.
I think I wasn't here the first week of that was out.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, so those 2 check registers are good and
I'm
Do you have
good as well.
anything?
No questions this week.
Okay, there being no questions? Take a motion to authorize, I need a motion to authorize the payment of all outstanding bills and invoices totaling
61.
My goodness.
$161,000.
$261,520.05
I'll
from
let
the
that
general
Carl
fund.
scare you.
$0 from streetlight fund, $64,460 from the sanitary sewer fund, $748,278.22 from the capital fund, $0 from the liquid fuels fund, and $9,903.46 from the library fund. Someone make that motion.
Yeah, I'll make it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. HR personnel policy. I think there was a question about the employee handbook. You were doing, somebody was doing a review. Have we moved any further on it, or we?
Labor attorney, I had a conversation with them and they're just doing that high level review.
Okay.
I do need to get back with them.
Planning and codes?
We just have a hearing with the planning commission next week on the transfer pump station they're going to build on
Okay.
Columbia Gas.
Yeah. That's it? That's all the.
That's it.
Public safety, I met with the fire department and Baldwin Council in Castle Shannon for our quarterly meeting. to discuss finances and, well, I guess the chief will fill us in on his report really that, the only comment I would like to make there is that it's very upsetting that the residents of this community don't to participate more in purchasing tickets for the carnival tickets when they come out, the raffle tickets. That really helps in funding the fire department, and a very small percentage of people contributing. It's sure far less than a fire tax or a fire fee. So I'd like to put that out there that we really would like to see some heartier participation in that program. It's the small offering for the services that we get. The police department, fire department.
Residents of Castle Shannon, good evening. As Nancy was referring to the quarterly safety meeting that we had, unfortunately I was not there, I was on vacation. Assistant Chief Brian went in my place and Dave was there and President Bob was there. They just discuss quarterly calls, kind of like what I do, but I put it in a little bit of a different format for that. And then they talk to financing, and then Bob goes over any kind of yard stuff, or what do you call Bob, like facilities, yeah, administrative stuff that we have going on. So it's a good meeting. Started this year and been going well, I feel. Michael usually in attendance, and then 2 members of Baldwin Township are also there as well. So. But we'll get on to the incidents that I have right now are for the past October. We had a total of 24 calls, about an average month. 2 of the calls were in Baldwin Township, 17 of the calls in Castle Shannon, and we assisted our mutual aid departments 5 times. Year to date, we logged 262 calls. Again, this is a trend that is ahead of last year's and the year before. So we are seeing an increase in call volumes, just as a lot of the neighboring departments are experiencing as well too. So we're getting busier and with less people and less money. So just a side note, I appreciate your putting out the information that we'd like to see more participation from the residents when we put out our carnival tickets for the cash prizes. Always helps. We had no major incidents in October. We had a truck fire up off of Poplar, and fire contained in a microwave. Someone cooked some vegetables for a little better than almost a half an hour. So in-house training for October. The first training on 10/13 first of all was a review of the hydrants and water supply connections. They kind of reviewed making the connection to the new hydrants that will be going in Shannon as the water company sees fit to replace them. 18 members were present for that first one. It was a good class. The second one on 10/20 was a review of the SCBAs and also continued on the hydrants. 16 members, firefighters, were present for this fire school. Outside training, we had a mutual aid structure burn class. 4 members attended and 2 support groups, so a total of 6 for the weekend. Then we went to the State Fire Academy for the live burn session. Again, 6 people total, 4 were participating in the training and 2 members were support staff. The Lewiston with Mount Lebanon and Dormont, there was probably a total of 32 members that were training from all 3 departments. They had a lot of training scenarios. They did 6 each day, so got a good turn, good shot. They got overworked. We went out to dinner. Then we did it all again on Sunday and did another 6. So it was a great weekend. A lot of camaraderie going on after in the parking lot between sessions, and they did a great job. Bucks County, I mentioned this last month. The gentleman that runs Bucks County was there, just checking on his folks, making sure his instructors were doing everything that they're supposed to be doing and safely doing it. He came up to myself and Deputy Chief of Mount Lebanon at separate times, and he says, "You should be proud of this group." He's never seen in his 50 plus years of this fire service 3 departments work so well together between Mount Lebanon, Dormont, and Castle Shannon. So again, it's quite a compliment, because you hear all these horror stories between departments where fire departments fight against each other, and not put them on their mutual aid runs and stuff like that. It's just ridiculous. But we'll have another quarterly training in December coming up as well too. So that weekend was a good weekend, and the people that went there again got a lot of good fire training. They actually operated in the high rise, which is a 5-story building up at the State Fire Academy. So they were climbing steps the entire week. So they were well beat up. On 9/8 Allegheny, we had 1 member attend, 2 members, hazmat training. That's the monthly training that they attend. And then the 3rd, 5th, 24th, and 26th suppression and third development. That was a 44-hour class. 1 member attended that, so he's trying to get his suppression instructors license or certification, and happy to acknowledge that he has achieved that suppression training certification. So, total of 71 hours was performed in all the training that day. Good. Members are down there training again tonight. Miscellaneous items, I won't go through all the upcoming events. Be found on our website. We did obtain 1 new member, a firefighter, Riley Gus. So he's 19 years old, pretty anxious, and we brought him in last month. Him, along with several others, will be starting their essentials come January with Shaycog, and looking into the next month, we have another application that we're reviewing, and we'll be taken to our board for November. So we've been having a pretty good membership drive this last several months here, last 3 to 4 months. Getting either a junior firefighter or a firefighter. So happy with that. It's always good. We still need members. We can always use more firefighters or associates that can help out with some of the fundraising that we do, or whatever special skills they may have. And as always, I appreciate everything you folks do for us down at the firehouse. It is not forgotten and not overlooked. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Works.
I really don't have to say it.
I guess we're getting ready for snow.
Well, yeah, the crews have been prepping the trucks, doing all their preseason prep work on the Public Works vehicles. And then I did get a call today that the parks have been winterized. And so I need to talk with the plumber, because I understand there were some concerns or some questions that arose today. So I just want to learn more about what that is, so that we can make sure that everything's properly prepared for the winter months, so we don't have any damage to any of our facilities.
I understand we got a pretty good buck for the truck at Municipal.
We did.
Yeah.
I just smell Michael's.
I don't remember. I don't remember if it was 61 or 62.
61 or
62.
It was 62.5 or something, or 6.
Yeah,
It was some.
that was good.
We started out at $12,500 because I looked online and could not find the values just didn't seem to be there. And all of a
Well,
sudden,
it's always a minimum thing, right?
it's always a minimum.
Yeah.
So fortunately,
Start
we're very
somewhere.
fortunate. I think, quite frankly, I think it was timing. Timing is everything, and this time of year,
Oh, yeah.
that type of truck is needed. And so
Very
Duquesne,
demanding.
the city of Duquesne is very happy. They're coming Wednesday to pick the truck up. And
Oh, Duquesne, okay.
Yeah.
Local.
And so we're happy to see them get it, and we'll be even more happy to receive that check.
That's great.
Board reports, Allegheny County Boroughs Association. We had our quarterly meeting on Thursday. The general membership meeting / Christmas party will be held December the 11th at 6 p.m. at Sophia's in Coriopolis. And I sit on the board, and have been moving through the process of vice president, so I'll be sworn in as president at that meeting. So I hope you all can
What's that
come.
for, Dan?
Allegheny County Boroughs Association. So I'll serve a year's term there and then move to ALOM to one of their lower presidencies if I live that long. And they'll have a swearing in of the new officers at that meeting. And then they do a collection for toys for the benefit of presents from police at that meeting. And the annual banquet will be Saturday, February 7th at the Rivers Casino. If anybody's interested, the Rivers Casino Ballroom. So there's two events that will be coming up. Anything for civil service? Nothing. Economic development? Nothing yet. Library? Marion, you want to speak for the library?
Marion Rosado, 913 Arch Avenue, and I'm here on behalf of the library board. First of all, first and foremost, I want to thank this council for the $45,000 for the library budget. I know the board, our library director, our patrons, our staff, our community really appreciates the kind gesture, putting this money back into our budget. It was something that, wasn't done fairly in the past, but that's behind us. We're happy to accept it, and we thank you very much. That's number one. Secondly, our website in the library has been redesigned. So if you're of an inkling to look at new websites, I think it looks pretty good. So if you want to take a look at it, it would be castleshannonlibrary.org. It looks very modern, and I think it'll really be appealing to you. Thirdly, our library board met this past November 6th, and I'm happy to report that our library board president, I think, has secured a LifeVac device free of charge for our library. She called a company, I think as the story goes, and they were more than happy to donate one to our library. So I think that will be coming up. I'm happy to put that in the library. So we're happy about that. Price was right.
What is that, Marion?
It's a device that if someone is choking, it suctions the air passages.
Okay.
So I thought that would be a great addition. And maybe we could put it in the children's area. I'm not sure. I don't know where it'll go for sure, but we're just happy to have it free of charge. So that, and also the library has adopted a cow. Daisy is her name. If you know anything about libraries these days, that's a thing. So Daisy is her name. She's at the Lone Oak Farm, and Nikki is her caretaker. She was born September 15th. She is 32 inches in height, and she weighs 90 pounds. So look for updates about Daisy on our social media sites. So it's kind of interesting. The next library meeting will be on Tuesday, November 18th at 7. And that meeting, anyone that wants to know about the Friendsville Library can find out. So anyone's invited to attend, of course. The flu and COVID shot clinic at the library is Thursday, November 20th from 11 to 1:30. Walk-ins are welcome, and registration is available online if you so choose. Our third annual craft and vendor fair at the library is Saturday, November 22nd from 10 to 3. Over 20 participants. So we're happy about that. The next fundraiser for the library is at Chipotle on Saturday, November 22nd from 5 to 9 at Washington Road. 25% of the sales get donated back to us. And last but not least, I want to thank all of our veterans. I know tomorrow's Veterans Day. The library will be closed, but we will not forget our veterans and thank them for their service. That's my report.
Thank you.
Harry, and this cow, is it a Highland cow or a regular cow?
The regular ones.
You have to go on the website to find out.
I was hoping it was a Highland.
All fluffy ones.
You have to look on the website. Medical rescue team staff.
Yes, our next meeting is November 26th. And on the budgeting note, as the manager has already told us, that we're looking good. We may not have to.
Raise our emergency fee.
Exactly.
Thank you. Shaycog.
They call the next meeting November 20th here at the Borough Building at 7 p.m. That'll be the last meeting of 2025.
So hopefully some council members can attend. Put that on your calendar.
Will we get a reminder or anything or no?
You just got a reminder.
It's in the mail. Thank you.
I think we've made arrangements for
The dinner?
the dinner.
Yep. It's free food, Paul.
I'll be there.
I figured.
Allegheny County Southwest Tax Collection Committee.
Nothing to report.
Mayor's report.
Yeah, I just want to commend the manager on his present.
Oh, gee.
How appropriate.
Can you step up to the podium and say your name and address?
Just my lawyer.
Whoever called him, thanks.
I'm seriously, I just wanted to commend the manager on his budget report. I'm sure there was a lot of effort put into it because of the fact that struggled to hold the tax millage line. It's not easy these days because, as we know, as individuals, expenses go up for the borough just as they do for every citizen. So we have to remember that our expenses go up just as well. So to try and hold the tax line is very difficult. It's hard to do. So I just want to say thank you, manager, for your effort. And I hope that we can continue to go on with the same tax millage because we don't get an increase in the total property valuation borough. And so we're dependent on that for our millage. It doesn't go up until the assessment, which they drastically need to do, which will probably hurt a lot of people, but nevertheless, we're struck, even if it does go up, people should realize we can't just go along with the total. We're restricted to what we can raise our millage by, not the same percentage as what the county is raising the assessments. So we can't have whatever they call it, a cash flow or whatever. So we struggled with that a couple of years back when they reassessed the county. So that's a guy need to do. I don't know what they're going to do. But again, I think we're doing a great job to try to hold the line on our taxes, so our people don't struggle with that too. So, but I know that a lot of houses in the borough are being sold for way over what they paid for when they bought the property, but that wouldn't affect the property owner because he sold it to somebody else, so let him buy it. Now, if you have a house you've had for years, they might reassess it, so I don't know. But anyhow, thanks.
Thank you. Manager's report.
Nothing, Madam President.
Solicitor's report.
I have nothing.
Real estate tax collector.
Yes, I have one more hurdle to jump. I should be back to the way it was in April. I've also started sending letters out for those that haven't paid. This is my time. I try to get up to that 97, 98%. So that will be happening in the next few weeks.
Okay.
And she beat me
the election again.
And I beat him again.
But you didn't count the write-ins.
You say that every year.
I had 160 write-ins, so that would have put me
But
ahead.
they work for you. You understand that?
I still beat
He didn't even offer pizza.
And moving on, it's the time for the public comments on non-agenda items. If anybody would like to address council. Old business? New business?
If I might, tomorrow, council should know, and everybody else out there, there is a recognition for Jim Fleckenstein. Fleckenstein, excuse me, yeah, tomorrow here at the Borough Building from 1 to 3. If you want to show your appreciation for his years of service. And again, Paul, free food.
Free food. Cake.
Cake and pizza.
Well, the chief will have a cake all taken care of.
1 to 3 tomorrow.
Thank you.
I also would like to thank, along with the manager of the finance committee, I know you guys, a lot of time involved with the budget and holding the line, so,
You know, it was putting feet to the fire,
yeah, good job.
but hopefully it'll work out.
You count the mayor's leadership.
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
Never mind. I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
All
Aye.
Just get started.
Opposed.
Any more done.
Motion carried.
Yeah, you cut out the mayor's leadership.
If I do that.
Our chief's on finance committee.